Welcome to Tips. In this episode, we're going to focus on tips about buying a used car. Used cars come in all shapes and sizes, from the European sports car, or a American high-performance car, or even a family car. Choosing one could save you a lot of money. However, buying a used car is still a bit of a gamble and naturally causes anxiety to most people. Most people choose to have their mechanic check out the car for them. But a person could check out the prospective car themselves and save even more money than they would otherwise pay a mechanic. That is what this video is for, to help build confidence in yourself that you can buy a used car. During and after contacting the seller, ask a lot of questions. Ask questions like,
has it been registered? How many miles does it have? Has it ever been in an accident?
the absolute first thing to inspect is the paperwork. On the registration, or any other available paperwork, compare the VIN number to the VIN number that's affixed and or otherwise decaled on the car. You can find the VIN number attached in these places: on the dashboard located on the lower driver's side corner in between the windshield, and another one on the decal inside of the driver's door. If you find the information is tampered with or missing, that alone raises the question if the car is stolen or not. If all of the paperwork has passed so far, we are now ready for the actual physical inspection of the vehicle for mechanical problems and safety. A good place to start is the exterior of the vehicle. Look down the side of the car, and if you see waved lines in the reflections in the car paint, it could mean that the car was recently repainted after being involved in an accident, or it had some kind of major bodywork. Look at all of the door opening edges, trunk lid edges, engine hood edges, and fender mounting edges for continuous and even gaps. If they are uneven in the doors, the hinges may be worn out, or the door was replaced, and some of the gaps in the fender are uneven between the engine hood or the front grille area. This could indicate that the fender or adjoining parts were replaced as a result of an accident. Now is the time for the engine inspection. The first thing to check is the engine oil to see if it's at the proper level. The oil's proper level is on the top line, indicating that it's full, or in between the top line and the bottom line, indicating that it is at a safe level. Take off the engine oil cap. If you see that the residual oil is a milky color, this could be an indication there is water or coolant mixed in the oil, and this could indicate major engine internal problems. For example, a blown cylinder head gasket, or what's worse, a cracked or otherwise damaged engine block. Time to check the many hoses that are attached to the engine and its components. Squeeze the hoses. If they feel too spongy or hard, they will have to be replaced with new ones. Inspect the drive belts for wear. The tip here is to look for a difference in shininess between the top of the belt and at the bottom. Like this belt, it shows a shiny top but a cracked bottom. The belt will have to be replaced. But also, it could indicate that the components that are driven by the belt are seizing and on the verge of a breakdown. The last thing to do to check the vehicle is the road test, if the car is currently registered and insured. Before starting or driving the vehicle, check the parking brake for proper operation. It should have a low resistance to foot or hand pressure at first, but as you lift or push it down, it should build up more and more resistance, and finally, when fully engaged, it should lock in place, locked in its fully engaged position. This also is a good way to check the rear brakes. If the parking brake operation checks out good, this indicates that the rear brakes are most likely good as well. After all, that is what the parking brake uses, the rear brakes themselves. If the parking brakes fail the resistance test, either the cable is seized or there are rear brake problems. Start the car and check the steering wheel for smooth movement, fully left turning and right turning. Use your senses of touch and hearing on this. When you turn the steering wheel, feel for any vibrations or pulsing and listen to any grinding, squealing, or knocking. This indicates possible problems in the steering system or suspension system. Last but not least, it's time to check proper operation of the transmission gear, shift handle, or shifter before heading out on the road. This is another chance to use your senses of touch and hearing. While you are shifting through the gears, listen for loud clunking sounds and feel if there's a momentary pause before the gear you selected engages. If so, it can mean the drivetrain or transmission needs to be repaired or replaced. Now, you can go on your test drive. Now for the last tip to conclude this episode. While on your test drive, use all of your senses. Feel for transmission slippage while driving at different speeds and while accelerating. Listen for any ticking, tapping, or clunking. Check to see if the heater and air conditioner works, if it's equipped. Note any unusual odors like oil or rubber burning. Look for smoking. Black smoke means it's fuel. A transparent bluish type of smoke is burning engine oil. And white smoke means that it's coolant or water burning. Well, that's all for this episode of Tips. I hope you've gotten some great information on to help you buy a used car. But if you still want to consult your mechanic about your prospective purchase of this used car, by all means do that. Spending a little more money now can save you more later in costly auto repairs. Be sure to tune in for future episodes of Tips, and happy motoring.